I'm going to teach you girls 3 theorems, okay? The first 2 are up on the board, but let me just explain the question before I explain the theorems, alright? So as is usual question, we have a polynomial here. We are going to divide it by x plus 4 to find the remainder, okay? So exactly what we did last lesson. So how many x is going to 2x cubed?
2x squared.
2x squared, right. So 2x, I'll write it in black. Right, 2x squared, and then as usual, take it away. 2x cubed. What am I writing next? 4 times that, huh? Plus 8x squared. Okay, let's take it away. So that's 0. Minus 3 minus 8. X squared. What do I do after that?
You bring x down.
Bring plus x down. Once again, how many x is going to minus 11x squared?
11x.
What 11? Minus 11x. So we've got minus 11x squared. And then 4 times minus 11x is minus 44x. All right. So that's 0. 1 minus 44.
45.
Yeah, that's 45. So we got plus 45x. And then bring the 1 down. So I can keep going. How many x is going to 45x? Plus 45. Right. So got to take away 45x. 4 times 45? Anyone? 100.
180.
Yeah. All right. So we got that. So that's 0, and the remainder is 1 minus 180. That's minus 179. Yep. Now, you know how it takes you this long division to find that remainder? Well, here's the shortcutting theorem. Girls, what does x equal to from that divisor? So girls, if you substitute minus 4 into the polynomial, so that's what this means. If you substitute minus 4 in there, so 2 times minus 4 cubed minus 3 times minus 4 squared minus 4 plus 1. Girls, if you put that in the calculator, which I'll quickly do, what you'll find is that's minus 179, which is exactly what I got.
But you're not finding that.
Okay, so, girls, the question is, find the remainder if it's divided by that. Okay. Yeah, so girls, that's what this theorem makes it so convenient. Instead of doing all this long division, if you know the divisor, okay? No, it's funny. That'll be nice on the video. All right. If you know the divisor, okay, the x value you get from the divisor, if you substitute it into the polynomial, that will give you the remainder straight away instead of having to do all of that. That's called the remainder theorem. Yep?
What if it's like 2x?
So if it was 2x, no, it's the same thing. So if this was 2x plus 1, what does x equal to there?
Minus 1.
No, minus a half. Yeah? It's the same thing as you doing 2x plus 1 equals to 0. Yeah, you just make x a subject, and when you substitute it into the polynomial, that's the remainder. Okay? Second theorem. If something is a factor, so there is no remainder if you do all of that. Because if something is a factor, there's no remainder, right? The remainder is 0. So let's do the same thing. What does x equal to here? 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute that 2 into the polynomial here. So what should we expect to get if I substitute that in there? That's right. Come on, girls, you're not making this easy for me. Let me just confirm by putting in the calculator. Yeah, that's 0. Okay? If this is a factor, that means if you divide this with that, the remainder will be 0. So that means if you substitute a factor into the polynomial, you will get 0. Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's how you test if a divisor is a factor. Okay? Now, that's not all they want. It says show that it's a factor. We've done that. It's equal to 0. And then it says, hence express px, which means that, as a product of linear factors. So, we need to do long division. Okay, here's what they want. This is a question. Instead of writing px like that, they want you to write it like this. So x equals something, x equals something, x equals... They want 3 factors like that. the reason why they want you to write it into 3 brackets instead of having it written like that is because, remember, from here, then we can find out what the x values are.
So how do you find out?
Yeah. So, girls, what's the usefulness of finding each and every x values from each bracket? What does it help you do? It helps you plot the graph out, right? Listening? So what we need to do, because we know x minus 2 is a factor of this long equation, we need to divide it to find these two. So far all we know is one of the bracket is x minus 2. We need to find out what the two other product or the factors are. Alright, girls, let's do long division, okay?
Trial and error.
We're getting to that. We are going to learn to do trial and error after this example.
Yeah, that's mine. I do that in
And then that's minus 3x. So that's 0 plus 6x.
No, it's not.
Minus 9. Yeah, minus 9. Minus 9x plus 18 minus 9. Yeah. So as you expected, the remainder 0. Now, the reason why we needed to divide it is because, yeah, girls, px is now equal to this times that. But have a look at this second bracket here. Girls, have a look at that. I can further factorize this using cross method. Alright, two numbers please.
3. Yeah, 3. Oh, no.
2 and 3 and 3.
Minus 3.
Minus 3. No, it's not.
Minus 6 plus 3.
Yeah, minus 3 plus 3.
What? Minus. That doesn't even add up. Is it done? Oh, no, it is. It's 6.
That's minus 6x. That gives me the middle.
Yes.
Yeah, so, girls, these are my factors that go in the second bracket. Okay, so 2x plus 3 goes in here.
Yes.
The next minus 3 goes in there. Okay, so girls, instead of writing it separately like that, now I've got 3 brackets. Okay, where from here we can actually go further and find out what the x values are, and then we can use these values to draw the graph out. For your interest, girls, this is what we'll be doing next lesson. We got 2, we got 3, and we got minus 3 over 2. And because the highest or the leading term is positive, the graph is going to look like this. Okay?
We would have to graph it?
Next lesson. I'm just showing you what the point of all this is.
What does it mean as a product of linear functions?
Yeah, girls, product, these are the product of linear factors. These are linear equations, aren't they? So these are product of linear factors. Each of the brackets are factors. Yep. So, girls, this is how you do this question. But girls, next question I'm going to show you is, what if they don't tell you, listening girls? Girls, the next example is, what if they don't tell you a factor? They don't tell you anything at all, and they just tell you to find the factors of that. Okay? I will show you that technique. Can I just rub this off? Practically the question, this is the type of question you expected to do in an extension. Alright? They'll just simply give you that polynomial, and they will ask you to factorize it like I did here. Okay? Without telling you another factor. So how do you determine that factor? Girls, before we do that, when we did this question and I asked you to factorize it, you know the question you ask yourself is, what two numbers do you multiply to give minus 9, right? That's the question you always ask yourself. Yep? The same logic applies here. You look at the end number and you go, what are the numbers that you can multiply to give minus 30? So what you want to do is write out the factors of minus 30. So starting with 1, like 1 will always be a factor, and minus 1. Okay? We're just going to list out all the factors of minus 30. Next number is 2 and minus 2. Yeah, we're just going in order. 3 and minus 3. And girls, can you see there are not infinite many, there are many, many factors. So girls, this is where your trial and error starts. So, by trial and error, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to substitute, girls, this is important, substitute 1 in here You're going to do that until you get 0. So, no, it doesn't take long. It's usually the first few. Right? If you substitute 1 in there, so 2 bracket 1 cubed minus 3, 1 squared minus 29 times 1 minus 30. Let's do it because this is something you need to do. It's minus 60, so that does not equal 0, so 1 is not a factor. Alright? Cut to the chase, girls. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be minus 2. Okay? Because it is if you put in the calculator. Okay? If you substitute minus 2 in here, so in other words, if you type this in the calculator,
It's 0, yes.
let me double check because in case I got my answer wrong. Okay, that gives you 0. So that means minus 2 is a factor. As a bracket, what is that? X what 2? Plus 2. That's how you get the factor when they don't give it to you like we did previously. You write out all the factors of the constant and then you try them out, you substitute until you get 0. So now that we know the factor, now we can what? Long division. Not the same question.
It is.
So, look, I won't do the long division because you already know how to do it. I'll just cut to the chase and tell you what the quotient is. So, yeah. So girls, if you do that long division with x plus 2, you're going to get that on top, which is the same scenario as what we did. What am I writing next? I found the quotient. Let's say I did the long division.
2x squared minus 7x minus 20.
And you always got to ask yourself, am I done here?
Yeah.
3 and 5? That comes in 5 and 3. Minus goes on.
No, it should be 5 to the 2. It says there.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Minus 10 plus 3 is minus 7.
Yeah, I get some blocks. Oh my god, I mean.
Okay, so girls, this is the final end result you want.
Yeah.
Okay? Write them as brackets.